Pistons team, the New York Knicks, the Celtics teams, those teams, and a couple other teams, the Miami Heats in the 80s and the 90s, of course, they will hack you, they will foul you. So every team was like that. Stop it. Welcome to the Daily Thinker Podcast, where we talk about basketball and theology. Today we'll be talking about Shaq. Shaq, this is nothing new from Shaq, okay? Nothing new at all from Shaq. Shaq always criticized this generation of players, whether they are soft, whether they're getting paid too much money for their abilities, i.e. Rudy Gobert. You know those shots he took at Rudy Gobert. So those things. But Shaq said on the podcast that this is just a cupcake era. Okay, this is a cupcake era of players. And I'm thinking of a couple of players that he could be talking about. And I know you might be thinking of those players as well. And if you are thinking of those players, let me know in the comment section below. But the thing is, my thing is that older players can disrespect the younger generation. Older players can disrespect NBA players today and just call them soft, call them weak, say they can't last in their era. But anytime a young guy or a young cat takes a shot at the old player and say, hey, they weren't skilled enough, they weren't good enough to last now. Oh, you don't respect the game. You don't know basketball. You are disrespecting the pioneers of the game. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here today. So, hey, they can disrespect the young players all day, but anytime a young player mentions and say, hey, they just wouldn't be that good enough, that's taken as disrespect. But you can call somebody cupcake, buttercake, and say this league is just super soft and players today won't be able to last in your era. And every era does this. Every single era does this. This is nothing new at all. But what Shaq said this on his podcast, take a listen.
Yep. This is another social media question. What's your opinion on NBA rules changing every season? Is it developing or hurting the game?
I think it's hurting the game. It's an old saying, if it's not broke, do not fix it. I think guys are more athletic, more talented, have far more shooting range. But I think a lot of times these rule changes because people are complaining. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in the league, he's standing in there too long, 3 seconds, let's change the rule. Okay, in order to get him out, we'll allow you to front him and back him. We'll allow you to hack us. Like it's just a lot of guys complaining and whining rather than just playing the game. I'm glad I'm mentioned in the original aliens of this earth. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's a lot of guys being mentioned now, and only a few you can pick from this dimension and bring them in. LeBron, Steph, guys like that. But I'm mentioned with the old aliens. So I kind of, you know, like people always, oh, you hating. It's not that I'm hating. I wish I was playing with these Buttercups right now. I wish I was. I promise you I wish I was playing. It'll be
when you say Buttercups, it cracks me up.
Yeah.
The one rule that I do think, and I don't think that they call it correctly at all time, but I do like the one that.
Okay. Now that is what Shaq had to say about the players today in the NBA. Buttercup softly, you know what? I would dominate in this league. Of course, Shaq would dominate in this league. He's one of the greatest centers of all time. I got him number 2. Behind Kareem. Okay, I got him behind Kareem. He will stay behind Kareem. Okay, I cannot put Shaq over Kareem just because of Kareem's career and how he was just so dominant. But back to Shaq and his disrespect. Okay, Shaq can disrespect all the young players he wants. Okay, I'm not saying Shaq is hating. I'm saying it's just disrespectful. Okay, to call the players today soft just because they want a couple rules change. And the way that old heads look at the game of basketball, they tend to forget that they complain too, that they complain to the refs, that they complain about the rules. Like Michael Jordan, we called the GOAT, literally was saying that the Detroit Pistons were out to kill him. It's in the newspaper. So to say that the young players today is this new thing, this new brand new thing that they're bringing into NBA basketball, complaining to the refs, complaining about rules, this is nothing new. Shaq, during your time, you, Kobe, everybody, Tim Duncan, well, probably not Tim Duncan, he didn't talk at all, but all the top players always complain, whether it was towards the ref or complaining about the rules. This is nothing new, but I'm glad that the NBA are changing rules, okay? Because one rule that I hate, One rule that I hate, just as a fan watching basketball, during the fast breaks, you can take that foul. Now, when I play basketball, okay, yeah, I love to take the foul because you can get back and stop somebody from scoring just by taking that foul. Oh, yep, ref, me, I did it. It was me. But now you cannot just hack somebody, just foul somebody to stop a fast break, okay? You know how many great dunks were missed because somebody fouled somebody in transition. You just think about it. And now you foul somebody in transition, they get a free throw and they get possession. So now you have to defend the basketball much better than you had to last year. So basically with this rule change, it's better. This rule change is better. I love this rule change. So now when you're out on a fast break, nobody can just hack you and you have to take the ball back out. Now you foul somebody on a fast break. What's going to happen? They get to shoot a free throw and they get the ball back. So yeah, Shaq, when rules change, it's actually a good thing. But calling people buttercups and saying that he's glad that he's mentioned with the old aliens, like the old dominant players of the game. You know, the Elijah ones, the Jordans, the Magics, the Bill Russells, the Kareems, all those, the Larry Birds, the Dominique Wilkins, the Isaiah Thomases. That's who I'm mentioning with, okay? I'm mentioning with those guys. Now, people like LeBron and Steph Curry, he just named two. I know is a couple more players in today's game. You could translate them in any era, and they will literally dominate and maybe be a top 5, top 10 player, top 3 player in the NBA. I mean, Giannis, LeBron, and Curry, Durant, the list can go on and on. Harden, Embiid. Like, these players will dominate. Jokic, they will dominate. To say that these players are soft, I just don't get it. I don't get the reasoning. They act like, you know what? We never complained. I never complained to the refs. Like, I'm tired of players crying and whining to the refs. Come on. Let's be serious. You was whining to the refs all the time. You was complaining to the refs all the time when they did not give you calls, Shaq. You did it. It's on tape. We all saw it.
David Stern wonder why the league is losing money. That's why. People pay good money to come watch these athletes play, and they try to take over the
Shaq, we're on live.
Okay, we all saw it. I'm just saying, let's have the same standards we have for all the old legends. Let's have those same standards to the current players right now. Let's not disrespect them, okay? Let's not disrespect them. These are great players. It's not a soft league. I mean, some calls are soft. Some players can be soft, but players soft in every single era. Every single era, it was a soft player. Every player on the NBA court wasn't Mr. Tough Guy, knock your nose out. It was only a select few. It was a select few. And people do this in politics a lot. Like the fringe people, those small group of people, they will paint them out, say, hey, everybody's like this. So that Detroit Pistons team, the New York Knicks, the Celtics teams, those teams, and a couple other teams, the Miami Heats in the 80s and the 90s, of course, they will hack you, they will foul you. So every team was like that. Stop it. That wasn't the case. And today, players are not soft, okay? That's just my opinion. Players are not soft. Stop the disrespect, Shaq, and let's get real here, okay? Let's be serious about this situation. Please, just for the sake of the fans, sake for yourself and everybody else, be real about this situation. Please, do it. Do it for me. Do it for me. Even though you don't know me, you might not care about me at all, just do it, okay? Please.